What is up, Zombs? Holla if you can hear me. I might even be able to hear myself. What's going on, everybody? Thanks for joining. I'm pretty sure I can hear myself right now. I got a lot of hellos, but I don't have a lot of I can hear yous. All right, Zombs, welcome to the 4th episode of Resident Evil 7 WB Theory Chat live. With your help in the comments, we can go over the different theories from the week about Resident Evil 7 and try to figure out some of the puzzles that are still left. Today, we're going to end the talk on the Datamine stuff, get that out of the way. No spoilers, just kind of a general see a Datamine. Talk about Ethan and his job. Talk about Mia and what her job might be, as well as several other things in this fun episode. Thanks everybody for coming early. Emperor, Hunter, Harry, Tiger, Eric, John, Goldheart, the moderator, Gaming, John, other John. There's so many Johns, we don't even know what to do. Host, Bang Bang, Sick in the Head. That is your early roll call right now, and we shall get started. What's up, Zombs? Check out this cool hair today. I was gonna wear a hat, but it was like super bright and distracting. Look how red this hat is. So let's talk about some things in Resident Evil 7. It looks like we have around 50 Zombs in here right now. That's pretty awesome. I think I'm like 20 away from 4,000 subscribers in the Crimson Army. So that is totally cool as well. Just to let you know, I do this Theory Chat show every Wednesday night at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, which is the same time I do my video game live streams during the week. So those are fun, and I recognize a bunch of you people from there. So I do this show because all my videos are usually between 2 and 4 minutes long, usually even shorter than that. So this gives us a chance to kind of talk about more of the stuff, go deeper into each video, because I cut out a lot of stuff. The video I did today about Mia, I think it was almost 4 minutes long. It's one of the longer ones. And the one about Ethan, I just cut like 10 minutes out of it. It was ridiculous. So this gives us a chance once a week to kind of talk about the videos that come up. And you guys can recommend to me other people's videos as well, as long as they're not spoiler videos or Datamine videos. There are Twitter questions up on the poll, or Twitter poll questions up on Twitter, /WheresBarryB, at WheresBarryB. So go over there to answer the 3 questions. Every episode there's 3 questions, and it'll tie into the show. The stream chat deletes at the end of the show. So if you have any serious questions or links you want to send me, you're going to want to send them to @WheresBarryB or with hashtag WBTheoryChat. That way you can search for Theory Chat and you can see all the different poll questions and people's links in there. And I guess we should get started. And I just wanted to start talking about the Datamine real quick to get this over with. We are not going to talk about any specifics from the Datamine on this channel just because we're not exactly sure it's 100% true. There could be some true things, some false things. We're not exactly sure. And we don't really want to spoil the storyline aspect of the game, and that's what that Datamine did. The link for the video I did about that to kind of close that out is in the description, along with all the links to all the videos we're going to talk about. I mean, the description today is very thick, a lot of links, a lot of good information. And thanks, everybody, for joining. So the first video that of the week that kind of, it's been brewing for months and months. Somebody on Reddit a long time ago found a note in Resident Evil 5, or connected the note. We've probably found the note before, and saw that there was a scientist named Ethan W. Well, the main character in Resident Evil 7 is Ethan Winters, so Ethan W. So naturally, there's a connection there, the same name. So, oh, sorry, to King. Sorry, let me fix this real quick. Okay. So yeah, the Ethan W connection. Now, let's just take a look at that note and see what it kind of says. Basically, Spencer, this is from Resident Evil Wikia. Spencer's notebook is the file in Resident Evil 5. It's two files together. The first part is the journal entry by Spencer, and that's where he kind of tells you all this stuff has to be kind of covered up. The study on the progenitor virus that they're doing in Resident Evil 5. And the second part is a hit list, and that hit list was created by Albert Wesker, who obviously is the boss that died in Resident Evil 5, and people think, could he come back? He's going to come back sometime, but I don't think in Resident Evil 7. And on that list, you've got the highest level of Umbrella that scientists that there are. You've got level 10 clearance, that's like the chairman of the board and all those people up there. And then you've got level 9 clearance, which are the top scientists, led by Brandon Bailey, who's the director of all these scientists. And there's a list of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 scientists. They all say deceased next to them. So Wesker has checked off his hit list, and Wesker has at least thought he's killed all of these people. The thing is, this Ethan W. also says deceased, and Ethan W. in Resident Evil 7, if they're the same person, did Wesker mess up? What do you guys think? Would Wesker ever mess up a hit list? Like, would he not know he didn't kill someone? I feel like Wesker's kind of a perfectionist. He's like the ultimate villain. He's not going to have a hit list with Ethan W. and forget to kill him or lie about killing him. He is going to get the job done. That's what I think. Do you guys have any thoughts on that? What do you think? Yes or yay or nay? Wesker good or Wesker bad at his job of assassinating? Conte says Wesker never messes up with a hit list. Goldheart says no. Hunter says maybe he killed the wrong one. That's an interesting thought. He killed the wrong person and thought he killed Ethan W. That would mean Wesker wasn't as bad as he thought as we would think he was, but still not that great. Blue Sheep says level 9 scientists would be desensitized to BOWs so that, you know, when Ethan sees the mold creatures, he wouldn't, be scared of them as much. Brian says maybe Wesker's coming back at the end to finish the job on Ethan. One of the good things about 4 or 5 people that in the comments when I posted that video talked about maybe Ethan Winters is Ethan Winters Jr. and that this Ethan W., Ethan Winters, is his father. And there's some kind of revenge now that Ethan wants to stick it to Umbrella because they've killed his father. And maybe he's on a lifelong journey to find out who killed his father or how his father died or something like that. That's kind of a crazy... way to think about it, since Ethan doesn't seem to be going to the plantation on his own. He seems to have been tricked to being there. Lord Sin says, what if Wesker is a clone? We can talk about Wesker coming back at another time. I did a video on it a long time ago, and it's kind of funny because that's the video everyone that's upset, that thinks they're, they know everything about Resident Evil, comes in and says, Wesker can't be alive, he died. And it's hard to explain to them that this is like a cartoon or a movie or a soap opera, more likely, or more like. And you can bring back anybody you want at any time. They've used clones before. I mean, Wesker can come back in Resident Evil 8, 7. They could do a prequel. He could come back just about any time. And the other reason that I connected Ethan with everybody else connected these two names together. The thing that kind of pushed me into doing the video, and if you want to watch John Ford's video, link is in the description. He did a video on this a couple weeks ago. But the chem fluids that are in the game, I know I'm like obsessed with these chem fluids, but they kind of seem to be the key to the game because you can mix them together with an herb to make a health. You can mix them with gunpowder to make ammo. You can possibly repair weapons with them. Like, they do a bunch of cool stuff. And how would a random person know how to do that stuff? Now, in past Resident Evils, in order to mix herbs, there's just like a notebook that you find on a table, and it's like, put green with red, and you'll be good. Or that, like, with V-Jolt, there's like an equation on the wall, and any idiot could mix it together. But, I mean, I said it in my video, I've put recipes together or tried to bake something like a baker, ha 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 ha. And I can't even figure it out, just simple measurements. So I was thinking maybe Ethan had some kind of a background that had to do with science and Umbrella Scientist. That kind of fits together. However, I also think it might be more like the Breaking Bad plot, and he might just be like a science teacher. I feel like Mia's the one who's kind of in charge of everything. And also the person whose name is the Folklore. None of your chats are going to get through with the name that comes after Folklore. Philip says the bakers may think Mia is their daughter. Goldheart says, what if Ethan is really good at science because he was the son of his dad, the scientist, the Umbrella Scientist? And that's another reason why he might be a college professor who teaches science. You know, he didn't go to Umbrella like his dad did because his dad was murdered or mysteriously disappeared. And maybe he's kind of learned science and he doesn't want to go the Umbrella route. He could also be some kind of scientist that works for... There's a bunch of different companies now that are bad guys, and this was talked about in the Mia video a little. But you've got Umbrella, and Umbrella's dead, but are they dead? There's Neo Umbrella, there's, every flavor of Umbrella. There's 32 flavors. There's Tricell, there's Shangya, which is a new kind of evil corporation that was talked about in Umbrella Corps. So there's a bunch of different enemies that could... or a bunch of different companies where Ethan could possibly work. I don't know. Ethan seems to be sort of a boring character so far. We don't know anything about him. And Peacebot says, could Ethan be working for TerraSave? We'll talk about TerraSave in a little bit. But yes, this is all... You can flip anyone, anywhere. You can say Mia does this job, or maybe Ethan does this job, or they both do the same. Let me go to the poll questions and see what you guys picked throughout the day. So every Wednesday in the morning, usually, or throughout the day, I'll be posting these poll questions. There'll be 3 of them every Wednesday. So the question was, what do you think his job is? 24% said private investigator, 61% said scientist, and 11% said news reporter, and 4% said other. So that's kind of, I kind of put, influenced the jury there, but with the video. So once you watch the video, you're like, oh, that makes sense. But if I could do a video on, are they a private investigator? I almost did that too or not private investigator, news reporter. Because in Resident Evil, we have seen Alyssa Ashcroft. She was a reporter in Outbreak, covering the hospital outside of Raccoon City or the Arklay Mountains or something. And one of her articles is found in Resident Evil 7. So someone in Resident Evil 7 is clipping articles about Umbrella and the mansion incident, because people who have played the game have found a picture of the mountains. They found a clipping of an article from Ashcroft, which was presumably from 20 years ago or whatever. So it seems like there's some kind of, and there's an umbrella picture on the table. It seems like somebody in the plantation is kind of researching umbrella. Now it could be the woman on the phone. That kind of would make sense. Or the bakers, they just don't seem like that kind of people there. Host 1418 says it's too much like Outlast if a character's a journalist. Now, one of the things we talked about earlier, virus, bacteria, fungus, and people said you can't do this because another game did this. That's a similar game. I guess you don't really want to copy other games, but you want to write your own story the way that you want to write your story. So I don't know that you just say, oh, this character was a journalist in this game. We can't make our character a journalist, even if that fits into the story. Let's make him a janitor or something like that. Let's see. Oh, and Ethan W., the scientist in Resident Evil 5, was studying the progenitor virus, which is the original, the OG virus. And that one is the one Lisa Trevor's family had. Lisa Trevor was given it, and she became, immortal. Kind of like what the Bakers are, that, you kill them, they come back, you kill them, they come back. That was the same with Lisa Trevor. You couldn't kill her. She just kept coming back and back. And then the mother had the B strand or something, and she died from it. So, and Lisa Trevor was like a hideous monster, not a good weapon. So they said no more progenitor, and they kind of transformed that into T-virus and some other viruses and stuff like that. But the progenitor virus is, you can kind of see it if you compare Lisa Trevor to the Bakers. Now, I also see a lot of Plagas in there. I see this fungus thing creating the mold. I see all sorts of things kind of jumbled up together into one kind of evil concoction, virus, bacteria, fungus, whatever it is. So, yeah, does anybody have any other questions or thoughts about Ethan before we move on? I want to read some of your comments. Michael Russell, Ethan might be a science teacher. It could explain him being an expert with chemicals. And I don't even know that is he an expert with chemicals? I guess, let's say you went to the mansion. Could you create this stuff? Could you make, the gunpowder? Could you make grenades? Could you make, medicine? I don't know. Maybe. It is a game, a video game, so. Yeah, and Exodia, talking about Lisa Trevor real quick. Who else in here fought Lisa Trevor the first time and then just kept wasting their entire ammo all on her until they finally realized, I don't think she dies? That is funny. Six says Ethan could work for the BSAA. Goldheart says Ethan could have been adopted by the Winters family. Well, I think he married one of the Winters. So, the Winters family. I don't know who the scientist? I don't know what you're talking about. David says he might be an expert chemist, especially if he's formerly on Umbrella. Wow, these chats are awesome. Thanks for everybody for joining, by the way. This is really cool. The chat's going quick, so I had to zoom out a little bit so I can read more of your chats. Super Mega says Ethan might be the son of some old Resident Evil characters. That's another thing, that anything could happen in this game, because you could create Mia or Ethan as in the family tree of any Resident Evil character, basically. They could be Spencer's grandchildren. One of them could be one of the escaped Wesker children. You don't know who it could possibly be. Yep, Evan, we talked about Ethan being Ethan Jr. But yeah, I'm definitely curious to find out what more about Ethan. There was a picture that was pulled out of the Datamine of Ethan, presumably Ethan today. I mean, who cares? You don't even see him in the game. So, but yeah, I'm curious to learn more information about him. I don't really care what he looks like, but okay, so now I want to do really quick is show you guys a couple of the featured Zombs. I'm going to do this every week, show you a couple different YouTube channels of people that contribute to the comments all the time. And this one is really awesome, and if you follow me on Twitter at WheresBarryB, you've seen this earlier today, but This was designed by Caliban, and a lot of you know Caliban from the chat. A lot of you follow him on Twitter. He's got his own channel. He doesn't do he does a lot of like fan videos. He makes trailers and stuff like that. He came up with this shirt, and I think it's just a super awesome shirt. What do you guys think about it? Leave some comments in the chat about what you think about this shirt here, because I think it's incredible. And the thing that my goal of what I want to do is I want to get 25 of these shirts on my own, not sell them, and give them out to people as kind of a... First of all, the first like 10 or 15 of them, I've already know who's going to get them, and pass them out to the people who have been around since day one, all the awesome chatters, and then give them away either weekly or monthly to people that are in the Crimson Army. And if you're new to this show or this channel, all the subscribers together, which is getting close to 4,000, we call them the Crimson Army, and I'm not like the leader. I'm part of it. We all kind of work together in the comments and stuff to kind of develop some of these theories. That, like I said, that Ethan Jr., that's all from a commenter. A lot of the stuff comes from commenters and from different people who have tweeted me and stuff like that. So that shirt. And then the other person I want to feature, and these people are in the description, is Goldheart. She's the moderator. You can see her with the wrench there. So everybody thank her for kind of helping out, because it's really hard to do, share all the links and everything and ban people with Barry's ban finger. That's what this is called, the Barry ban finger. Quick to ban. So those two Zombs, I wanted to feature them this week. So if you see them on Twitter or in the chat, then tell them how awesome they are. Now, the video that I released right before this stream came out was now about Mia. And we have the question now is, how did Mia get to the Bakers? And more importantly, how did she... Now, if she went straight to the Bakers, that's one thing. But if she got there some other way, kidnapped or, found herself there, I wanted to kind of look and see how could she do that, and what would she be possibly, working as or working towards. And it's all inspired by the Tape 3 trailer, where you see in the beginning, Mia falls off the boat like this. I'm falling off a boat. And it's like Ethan Winter's wife has been dead for 3 years. Or is she dead? Or is she alive? Or is she dead? Or is she alive? So that kind of inspired me to think, you might start the game on this boat. And then if you start the game on this boat, where did the boat come from? Why is Mia on the boat? A lot of questions like that kind of came up, and I tried to cover them. And the one thing that I saw in the Resident Evil timeline between Resident Evil 6 and Resident Evil 7 is that there is a comic book in Japan, a manga, called Heavenly Island. And people have been talking about it on Reddit since January, how this might influence the game, because it's been the only thing that's happening in between. I think it's the only thing that's happening in between 6 and 7. So I actually went through and read a couple the different pages of that and saw a boat and saw a lady falling off a boat, and I was like, whoa, this is crazy. And the people that were kind of fighting the bioterrorism was Terra Save, and Terra Save, from Revelations 2 in particular, and that is where Claire and Moira are a part of that organization, and they're kind of hippies that go around and protect human rights. I don't know. I don't know if it's like Greenpeace / Peace Corps kind of combined into one. And you guys might know more about it than I do, because I only know it from the first 5 minutes of Revelations 2. But TerraSave seems to be a organization that would go after someone who had a virus or a BOW and either inspect their ship or whatever, or try to take them down. And we can actually, I think, TerraSave. Here we go. So this is what Resident Evil Wikia says about TerraSave. Its primary functions are to provide aid both through supplies and manpower during bioterrorism and medical-related incidents, monitoring medication distribution, ensuring. Now, this is the key: ensuring safe drug development and research facilities. Now, what if a boat has a research facility on it? Maybe they go in there to make sure everything's okay, either legally or illegally, and that's kind of how the explosion happened on the boat to knock me in the water. Or maybe there was a BOW, that little girl on the boat that blew up the boat and knocked everything into the water. And the interesting thing is Mia's filming it the whole time, so you think maybe she's filming this for, to show people this is what's really happening undercover on an umbrella boat, or, whatever company or bad, company it is. What do you guys think about Terra Save as being in this game, or do you think that's just kind of far-fetched? And more importantly, do you guys want to see a connection to Claire? Because if Mia's in Terra Save, there might be a connection to Claire, and I think this game's going to connect somehow to some main character, and you got to think which one's it going to connect to. Is it a BSAA, maybe Jill or Chris? Maybe if it's Terra Save, maybe it connects to am I saying it right? Yes, Claire. And that was the third question because I didn't want to spoil the video. But 0% of you think that Mia is a BSAA agent, which that's kind of interesting, actually. 40% of you think that she's the news reporter, and that kind of goes along with the TerraSave. She's going in to uncover things. It actually fits perfectly, and you could just replace TerraSave with news reporter with her going to a ship. And 56% of you said TerraSave, 5% said other. So, yeah, a lot of people still think the reporter thing is in there. Hillop says, I like Claire. I think a link would be cool. Ace says, what if it's Tricell? Lord Sin, we're not talking about any of the spoilers, so I put you in timeout for 5 minutes. Brian says, what if it's all connected to Claire Becca? That doubles our chances of being right. Yeah, and I was kind of shocked to see how many ships have been involved in Resident Evil. There are 3 ships in that Umbrella Queen thing, Queen Zenobia, and were they all queens? 3 queens? And then in Resident Evil 5, there was a Tricell ship. So there's a lot of ships involved. And in this manga comic, it was a party yacht, actually. And I don't know if you guys know anything about this Heavenly Island, but it counts as canon according to the Resident Evil people. And it involves a bunch of supermodels or something going to an island to do a Survivor reality show, and then a zombie outbreak happens on the boat and on the island, and then these bikini people are fighting zombies. It's very weird, and I don't know why they would actually connect that to the game, and I don't think that this is what's happened to Mia, but it kind of said, okay, well, what if this happened, but in Gulf of Mexico? And so if Mia's in a boat in the Gulf of Mexico, maybe she falls off. Maybe the Bakers have a boat and they find her. Maybe they all wash ashore, Mia and the virus and the little girl. Mystery the Clune on Twitter. I will also be looking at Twitter to see some of your comments. That's actually a good place to put your comments in because it's less crowded. Mystery the Clune says, I think she's a test subject. That'd definitely be interesting. It's going to be interesting to find out how Mia actually got there. And then CJ points out that Manga also has a creature in it that looks like the mold creature. And I didn't really get around to looking at that yet, but some people on Twitter and Reddit have been talking about that. I only read the section about the boat because I Googled Resident Evil boat, and then it popped up, and then so I read that portion, and I saw that someone had mentioned it on Reddit a long time, like before we even knew the game was coming out, January. Sammy B says, imagine Marguerite in a bikini. No, thank you. Philip says maybe Alyssa Ashcroft is connected, and maybe she will show up as some kind of reporter in the game. Dead's Fortune says maybe the game is connected somehow to the new movie. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't looked into that at all. I did finally watch the trailer for the Vendetta movie cartoon. It's not a cartoon, man. It's called CG. Blue Sheep asks the question, how did Ethan find out about Mia being alive? It sounds like Mia sent him a message somehow, either by phone or videotape somehow. And yeah, that would be weird because you'd think Ethan would call the police or something. Or the FBI would be involved since I guess if Mia drowned, there wouldn't be an FBI investigation. Just checking out some of these. Oh, Exodia says, where can you get the comic? Google. I found it somehow on Google. And yeah, that's all I can say about where to find it. I would Google it. Okay. So, yeah, let's see what else we have here about Mia. That was base. We see her on the ship, Terra Save. And yeah, so I'm trying to find a connection between Ethan and Mia and the Resident Evil universe. I don't just think both of them are just, this guy's a teacher, this lady's, an accountant. I don't think there's that. I think there's either a connection through a relationship, like his father, son, ex-husband, something like that, or a connection through an organization, BSAA, Umbrella, TerraSave, any of these organizations, some kind of connection to these people, and they could have been former, like Ethan could have been a former scientist, Mia could have been a former TerraSave. I just can't wait to kind of unlock the story. And I don't think they're going to give us like a huge chunk of story either in the game. That's the thing. We're looking so deep right now because we've got a month left till the game comes out. But in reality, it's like when the game comes out, it's going to be not as complicated as we think. So the Wikipedia page is going to be longer. But how much longer is it going to be? Is it going to be a novel? Is it going to be 3 paragraphs? Brian says, as to how Mia contacted Ethan, it looks like she sent him a videotape. Yeah, she says, if you get this, stay away. And I was going to put together some of the sound bites into a video like I did for Jack Baker. That is also in the description. I put all the sound bites into a video.
Oh boy! Now look what you've done, motherfucker! You thought you'd just slip out before dinner was done? It's over, boy. Come here, boy. Oh no! Now you gon'. 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 Oh no!
Yeah, that is kind of weird. So John Ford actually put together Mia and Ethan's lines into a video, so you can check out his thing. What is up, Joe After Work? Joe After Work gets a special mid-stream shout-out. Normally, I'd give all the shout-outs in the beginning to the cool kids in the class who got here early. Go check out Joe After Work's channel. Exodia says, I love Jack's voice. And also, if you're new to the channel, I do live streams, and right now I'm going through Resident Evil 1, Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 3 on PS1. And we do a lot of fun stuff in these streams with sound bites, Jack Baker, and John Cena! People who were watching last night will get that one. And Gamer Guy says, give Jack the Oscar now. I agree. Oh, I didn't realize that I was doing this whole thing with the shirt there. All right, so yeah, I guess we covered just about everything from those videos of the week. That'll usually take up the first half of the show, and then we can kind of, I don't know, figure it out from there. And I'll answer some questions or read some of these comments. Black Tiger says, will I play in VR? I'm not going to play Resident Evil 7 in VR. I will eventually, but I'm not going to do it first run. And if you guys are online and you like these streaming channels, you know that every single human being in the entire world and all 70 people in this chat room are all going to be streaming Resident Evil 7 the day it comes out at the same time. And there's going to be no one left to watch because we're all going to have our own streams. But if you want to watch, I'll be doing that. I've taken off from work for 2 days. I'm going to get it at midnight. I'm going to start playing it, and I am not going to stop until I beat it, and then I'll probably play it again. Maybe I'll take a nap. I'll play it again. I'm just going to play it a lot. And we're going to have more fun than other people, because I might be dressing up like Jack Baker or something. I'm trying to find that costume to add to my costume repertoire. And if you guys accidentally tuned in on Christmas or Thanksgiving, you saw me looking like a weirdo in different costumes and outfits. And it's a good time to talk about my Instagram as well. I'm on Instagram, WheresBarry, and Twitter. So go follow those. Instagram is getting a little more fun. I'm putting different pictures up from the game that I play that day or whatever. And here is the other shirt. That's why I'm bringing this slide up here. This is another shirt designed by Lost Road, who was in this chat room earlier. I think he's still around. He designed this really cool shirt as well for the Crimson Army, and his is more like hardcore, and I believe that's a picture of him in a Halloween costume. So that's very interesting. Clamp says, I'm going to have to avoid YouTube, Reddit, 4chan, and the entire internet until I get the game. That was one of the questions I asked on Twitter the other day. I asked 2 questions. I asked, have you unsubscribed from a channel because they have been talking about spoilers or posting thumbnails or a blog that you read? I know there's a lot of blogs out there that are covering the Datamine stuff, including big name websites. And the reason I did my last video was based on Games Radar, which is one of my favorite websites, because one of the guys that's the main writer there, Leon Hurley, he always answers questions that I ask him and stuff like that. This was written by someone else, but they basically took Reddit, copied, pasted, and I was like, come on, man! And so it has hit the mainstream kind of media, video game media. But so the interesting thing was about 75% of the people said they did not unfollow or anything. I think a lot of people are good with the internet now, where they can see something in the corner of their eye and kind of ignore it, or they know where not to look. But 25% did say that, and just to give you like an inside look, I lost 115 subscribers in December so far. Now that is, I have no idea if that's related to Resident Evil 7 or whatever, but that's how many people are, going off just, particularly from my channel. But I also dress up like an elf. I dressed up with a turkey on my head. That could explain it as well, as opposed to just Resident Evil. Now, the number is going up, but that's just kind of the number that's been knocked off. Black Tiger says that the cop might have found out about the sewer gators missing, and yeah, I think that might be why the cop is out there. The sewer gators might have been the most recent missing persons report, and because they're a TV show, somebody knew that they were going to that house, and there is actually a screenshot of their van parked out front that might be older, so the van might be still sitting in front of the house, and we might run into it in Resident Evil 7. So talking about those chem fluids again that I'm obsessed with. I'm obsessed with the fungus, and I'm obsessed with chem fluids. So the chem fluids, Actually, this doesn't have to do with chem fluids. It has to do with weapon crafting. So this is what Games Radar said is in the game, which was actually left off of their Datamine list when they. So Datamine listed all the weapons in the game. I don't know how true that is, but they didn't even like corroborate. They didn't combine together. I can't say that word. They didn't combine together like their articles. So this guy Leon talks about he found a flamethrower, and then you look at the Datamine and it doesn't mention in the article, and it doesn't mention a flamethrower. Why didn't the guy read the other article and actually do a weapon list instead of copying and pasting? Anyway, so the flamethrower, Games Radar said, is a jerry-rigged flamethrower made out of hairspray and a bike handlebar. So you might be able to be creating weird weapons like in Fallout or something. I don't know. How many motorcycle handbrakes are you going to find? And Yaya Boo's here. I guess I'll give Yaya Boo a shout out in the middle of the stream. Even though Yaya Boo doesn't come around much anymore. She was one of the first people that came to the stream, which is weeknights at 8 p.m. And not every weeknight. It's whenever I have some free time. But every Wednesday is this show here. Gamer Guy tweeted me something. Oh, tweeted me how I can wear my costume as Dress Baker. As Dress Baker? As Jack Baker. And Dimitri on Twitter, Hillops, says he thinks the link is going to come from the Baker's side of the family to previous Resident Evil games and not Mia and Ethan. Mia and Ethan are jumping into the Resident Evil world, which involves the Baker somehow. And that could explain, again, the newspaper clippings found in the plantation house in Louisiana about the mountains, which, if you look on a map, they're like up higher in like Arkansas or is it Jefferson City, Missouri? I don't know. There's like a little circle in the United States of America where the Arklay Mountains are supposedly based on. And it's well north of Louisiana, because I still think Lisa Trevor is walking right now as we speak from the mountain explosion where she did not die, because she can never die, and she's walking all the way to Louisiana just to kill us in Resident Evil 7. Yes, Hannah, the t-shirt right here again, designed by Caliban. Yeah, see, Yaya Books pops in, she pops out. Last shout out ever. Goldheart, Dulve is a town in Louisiana, a fake town, but if you look at the police officer, he was based on a New Orleans police officer, or also possibly a state trooper. They might have mixed together these two things from real life. And yeah, they always make up a fake town kind of based on a real town. And like I said, the Raccoon City was like Jefferson City, Missouri, maybe? Or some city up there. And then Tall Oaks was like basically like where an Ivy League school would be. So what, New Haven, or it wouldn't be Boston, like in Boston City. Maybe the suburbs of Boston or something. Jack Ripper says, do you believe we will meet Clancy? Yes, I think we're going to meet some different characters along the way. We've already seen one of the characters we meet, the police officer. And we've now seen him talking to us, and then us talking to him, if you watched all the different things. I think him talking to us was in the gameplay video number 1 or 2, and then us talking to him was in the commercial. Clam says, I wonder if we're getting breakable weapons, and that's another thing with chem fluids that we're not exactly sure of. So somebody who played the game, and I can get you the exact person, I've got all the links in a file. but they said that you could repair the broken shotgun with the chem fluids. I think that was Biohazard France guy said that. And that makes you think, do all weapons break, or is this one specific weapon that you're going to be able to fix with the chem fluids? That would add another element to the game, and the game looks to be a lot about decision making. Am I going to use an herb? Am I going to create an herb? Am I going to create ammo? Am I going to create, am I going to repair the shotgun? Am I going to solve the shotgun puzzle? And it sounds like the shotgun puzzle might have something to do with the Resident Evil 1 shotgun puzzle. And Goldheart says, can you craft nunchucks? I don't think so, but if the Ninja Turtles make an appearance, if Wesker comes back, maybe the Ninja Turtles will come back, and Michelangelo will have nunchucks. Philip says, do I think Lisa will come back? I don't think so for real, but I think if I saw her, I wouldn't be super shocked. And the upgrades we've seen so far, Kante, are increase your health, and you do it by sticking a steroid thing in your arm. Increase the weapon reload speed, and that's also an injectable thing, so that might, I don't know how it would make you quicker or something. And then the third was the Magnum. Those were the upgrades that they've seen in the game so far, the people who have played it. And Swifty, I do not think you can combine flamethrowers with chainsaws. I don't think it's going to be that complicated of a system. But we have seen a gas can or a can of fire, a butane gas or something, and we've seen little fire starters. So you know that there's a couple different things maybe that you could combine together to make weapons. Yes, Rick, we have seen the models there of the characters. Does that mean that a mirror is going to work in the game if Ethan has a model? Fisher says he can't wait to see what old characters might make it into Resident Evil 7. I think we all are going to be excited to see that, and we're all glad that it didn't mention anything like that in the possibly half fake, half real Datamine outline or whatever it was. Gamer Guy, I guess I'm going to take your question and put it out there like, it seems like each of the bakers has a different special power. Like Jack is stronger and seems to take a lot of hits. Marguerite's got her bees and maybe controls possibly centipedes or spiders. We don't know about that yet. And then it's so what does Lucas do? People think he's super fast. People think he can turn invisible. We know he can probably heal himself quickly, and grow back limbs. I don't know if that's a special power or not. Owen thinks that Ethan could be a corporate exec working for Umbrella, not a scientist, and that's why he's so shocked to see these mold people. I thought he was... See, I think when he sees these mold people, he's not super scared. I feel like he's not, terrified when he sees this stuff, but... And yeah, it looks like that they're, as Rick said, that they're finding the models that we've already seen most of them in the CEDC thing, but we didn't see the Ethan one, the models of the characters, which I also think were put in on purpose into the Datamine so that people would find them. So there was also an article from Game Informer magazine that talked to the producer of the game, Kawada, and asked him questions. And there was nothing, huge in there. It was just kind of reiterating everything we kind of knew before. But he made it sound like there's not just going to be 2 enemies. So right now the only enemies we know are the bakers, and we know there's mold things. Now we've seen another thing that kind of looks like a mold that has either pre-mold or post-mold or super mold. But those are the only kind of three people or enemies we've seen. So there's got to be more enemies. There's got to be dogs, right? I can't imagine that they do Resident Evil without having dogs, especially on the bayou, and an alligator. I mean, that would make so much sense. Not like a giant one either. It seems like the game's being more realistic with that because the mold creatures are actually the size of a human. They're not like... They might be a little bigger. Are they? Yeah, they're a little bigger. But they're almost human-like. They're almost like the new zombie. And then the bugs that Marguerite has are regular size. The spiders are small. The centipedes, we don't know what they look like, actually. And that might have been a translation issue. And then the obviously the hornets, or not the hornets, the wasps, are regular size too. So it looks like they're not going crazy with these giant killer things. But a dog in Resident Evil is normally a size of a regular dog. So that kind of makes sense, as are the crows. Joe, after work, says he'd imagine there'd be more insect-based enemies, considering Marguerite's powers. The funny part about that is I was doing when I was looking for ideas of videos to do months and months ago, a long time ago, beginning of the channel, I was like, I'll do a thing predicting what enemies will be in the game. I did one video, and it was about insects being in the game. And then they showed Marguerite, and I was like, yeah, I knew it! But mostly I just didn't have time to go through the rest, but I thought insects were made the most sense in the setting of the swamp because mostly of mosquitoes, and the one thing mosquitoes can do is transmit a virus. So one of the reasons people might be getting infected in the game is mosquitoes, and the Resident Evil loves to take from 2 different things. They like to take from horror movies, and they like to take from real life. So them using the Zika virus that was, everybody knew about it in the Olympics. Hope Solo had some stupid, joke tweet that everyone hated. That kind of thing could be, ported into this game, and the mosquitoes could transfer this virus. Now, nothing we've seen so far would say that would happen. There's no clues to that or anything, but that was kind of my original thought about the mosquitoes. All right, Goldheart, I will change. But we've already gone down the rundown, and we went through it in about 30 minutes, which was a lot quicker than I thought. You'd think if you do 6 videos in a week, there'd be a lot to talk about, but I think I need to slow... So another thing that's awesome that you guys are checking this out is because this is the 4th time I'm doing it, and trying to figure out how the best way to do it. Because so the goal of this show is not just to talk about my videos, it's to talk about every article, every other theory video that has come out in the week, and talk about all of them. So, I mean, I messed up. I didn't put the Game Informer article that came out this week in there. Maybe I should have talked about the model of Ethan. I don't know about that. But so we're kind of figuring this out together because I want to cover all the info, but I want to take all the commenter stuff too. Because the fun part about doing this channel is not, watching views go up. It's watching comments go up. That's the number that I like to look. Comments, chat, the number of chats that are going to be in there. I can't wait to see it. So YouTube's on a 2-day delay on stats, and I love stats. So I'm like, I can't wait to see how many people commented. And it looks like we've got a full screen. It looks like there's at least 30 commenters in here, and there's 70 Zombs watching as well. So that's pretty cool. Joe after work, yeah, the models. There's a couple different models that were extracted from the demo, and I know whoever's secretly leaking them from Capcom or supposedly doing that has sent those out previous to the demo as well, or something similar that we haven't seen, but was. They have. So it's curious that they would leave those into, and it's not a big spoiler that they leave a picture of Clancy in there because we already seen him. The curious thing is that they would put the plot in there, and that's what makes me think that they put in a fake plot. Maybe they put in some real weapons, they put in some real DLC, you know, these non-spoilers, they put in some character models. Who cares? We've seen them. But that story thing is the thing that kills me, because I don't want to know what happens. I don't want a walkthrough of an outline. And everybody always asks me, am I getting the collector's edition? And that is a hard pass on that. And am I getting deluxe edition? I'm getting whatever edition allows me to play the game at the quickest. I'll download it online if that's quicker. I have a feeling it's going to install. I'll go to Walmart and buy it at midnight and run back here. And yeah, I wonder how deep the Baker family is in this game, if they're front to back, or if there's a different, you know, we finally beat the Bakers and then we move on to somewhere else. That would be interesting as well. And earlier I talked about Caliban and Goldheart. I also wanted to mention Gamer Squad. Gamer Squad's in here. Yaya Boo was in there earlier. Because they do a series, and it's in the description as well, the link, where they talk about, or they talk to different YouTubers. They've talked to Joe After Work, who's in the chat right now. They've talked to Goldheart, who's in the chat. They talked to me. They talked to, who's the other? Oh, John Ford. So that's a fun little interview show that you guys should check out. And I have that link in my description. The other channel information people want to know is, who am I playing Resident Evil 5 with next? I play with Joe and I play with John. And 420p guy is another Resident Evil person, but he lives in Great Britain, so it's hard to get a time scheduled. So he's next on the list. And I might be playing with some other people. I'm trying to figure that out. This Chat Theory show got a lot more popular than the other show, so this is kind of the main chunk of the channel now, is this show, live stream, theory videos. And if you ever have any theories or anything, you can always talk to me. Just don't send me spoilers in DMs and then, you know, say, hey, someone said, hey, do you want to see some spoilers? I said, please do not send me spoilers. And then they send me like 20 spoilers. Don't do that. But if you have a theory or something that's not really spoiler based, then we can chat about that on Twitter. Rick said, am I going to play the full game live on the 24th? Yeah, I am getting it as soon as I possibly can and sticking it in the system. I want to be one of the first people to play it. And I'm not sure if I should download it from the PlayStation Store or if it would be quicker to just go to the store, which is, you know, a 2-minute drive. Because in the past, I've downloaded games on PlayStation Network, and it has taken hours and hours and hours. Sammy B, that was that was from a different channel, and it was the most ridiculous one I ever saw because it had no... It was based on nothing, so... The only car we've seen is there's a car where you kind of fight Jack Baker, and you get in the car and you can ram it into the wall or whatever. And they also showed a scene of a car that was like outside somewhere too. I think that's where that came from, but there was definitely nothing except those 2 video clips to tell you about the thing. Lord Sin says buy the physical copy. Yeah, that's what I had figured I will have to do. And I haven't bought a game at midnight since maybe Resident Evil 6. So that was the last game where I was really excited to play, and which is very funny because I played it for an hour and a half and never played it again for years. God Taku says you can preload it before. I'm new to this whole thing. Conte says to get it digital, you can download faster. I'm new to the whole thing. Whenever I download a game, okay, sounds like I can preload it. Thank you for the help on that. All right, guys, and Zombs and Crimson Army, I wanted to thank everybody for checking out the stream today. The WB Chat Theory Show. I really like doing this show, and I wish I could get to more of the comments when I do it, so I'll try to figure out maybe a better way to figure that out. But as I said before, I do live streams on weeknights at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, usually for an hour and a half. Sometimes we get carried away, like last night we did 4.5 hours. Theory Chat is every Wednesday at 8, and during the day there'll be poll questions on Twitter to go over, and you can be involved in the show that way. You can send me tweets, Facebook, WheresBarry, Instagram, WheresBarry. Those are your best ways to get in on the comments. I know Twitter people have been posting on Twitter. I read a few of them, but didn't get to all of them, but that's the best way to do it. And then stay tuned for more theory videos, and stay tuned for no spoiler videos, because those are kind of annoying, especially the story plot spoilers. I don't want to do that. I don't like reading those articles online, but I have read them all. I had to do it. And a big shout out to all the Zombs out there, the ones who have been around forever. I started live streaming September 15th when the second version of the demo came out. And I saw it, and you can actually see who was in the chat room, and a lot of people have stuck around for several months. And the channel is probably now 6 months old almost, which is insane. And yeah, thanks for helping me get to what appears to be will be 4,000 here in the next day or so. 4,000 subscribers. That is totally cool, and it actually might happen tonight, and we might all have a party. Conte says Twitch stream. I usually do a Twitch stream on Wednesdays of, what's it called, Last of Us? I kind of want to play Resident Evil 2, so I'm probably going to do the 9:30 live stream on this channel, Resident Evil 2, and kind of finish that up. Follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram, follow me on Facebook, all at WheresBarry, and stay tuned for next week's episode when we talk about who knows, because in a week, so many new things can happen. Thanks for watching, Zombs. I'll check you later, Evil Dudes. Hope you had a great holiday. Hope you have a great new year, and see y'all in 2017. Bye, Amanda.